Black people, wake up! God is a black man! Black people, wake up! God is a black man! Jesus is a white man, God is a black man.
Sonetta TV.
Sonetta TV's growing. Y'all better get this knowledge. The truth be overflowing. It's like a pro-black college. It's for a fallen soul. Malcolm and Brother College. This thing is taking over. The HOK is solid.
Sonetta TV.
If it was ever a good time that I could just roll the streets and never hold a beef, if there was ever a bad time, long as we just stick together, we could set a better tone on the streets. I know the TV's right on time. Ain't no masquerades or no network games to play. It be the new pastime. If it was ever a good time, but we could just live in peace and didn't kill our peeps. Ain't no more walking around blind. Ain't no stopping this, the consciousness, the droppings, helping people to see. If we could live in the sunshine without being a slave, free from all stress and hate, would that be the last time?
Sonetta TV.
I am a Hebrew, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. I had to rep for my brothers. Keep it 100, wake up my people.
See what I'm saying? We got Hebrews that love us. We got Muslims, we got Christians. I got my man all the way from Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes.
All right, Hebrew brother.
Man, keep hitting them in the head, man, till they wake them up. Keep hitting them in the head till they wake up. Silent TV.
Peace, brother. That's what's up. All right, I stand here with my brother Divine right here. I got brother Divine and Prospect, brother Divine Prospect on the scene. I have a couple of questions for the brother. First, I want to ask you, my brother, what is your take, what is your perspective on religion, Islam in particular?
In respective to religion is a set of rules that people have enacted so that way they can get to a higher form of spirituality. But the problem with that is that it keeps you closed-minded and it allows you to avoid facts, it allows you to avoid science, and allows you to avoid any kind of history that correlates with what the text says and show discrepancies within the text. So when our people are involved in religion, it's an oppressive and suppressive system in order to keep us down so that way we don't rise to a higher level of understanding. So in regards to Islam, if anybody knows anything about history, especially in Central West Africa, in regards to Islam, okay, the Songhai, the Mali, and the Ghana empires were all Islamic. And those are the ones that started the slave trade and got us indoctrinated and sent overseas and then trained like the slave trade. Now, the one thing I can give religion credit for, because if you know anything about the Barbary slave trade, they traded Europeans too. Okay, so when it comes to religion, okay, when it comes to trading slaves, when it comes to keeping a person in a state of mind whereby which they can do business, it's big money. That's what it is, all big money. So you have to keep an open mind, and even if you do subscribe to any of the manuscripts or the text in regards to this, keep an open mind, man. Don't sit there and take everything literally, because it will destroy you and eat you from the inside out, and then you will look like a fool coming against facts, coming against history, okay? And that's what the problem is with our people. We don't want to deal with facts. We don't want to deal with science. We don't want to deal with history, okay? That's a process called cognitive dissonance. That means that if I approach you, okay, and you have a subscription to a particular belief, and I give you a fact to refute that, automatically within 5 to 15 seconds in your mind, you're going to be like, you know what? Should I conform to this truth and give up my lifestyle, my livelihood? Or should I find a means of either avoiding it or find a means of saying, you know what, I don't want to deal with that right now. And within 5 to 15 seconds, that's what our people do. We've been trained, we've been brainwashed to reject anything that'll help bring us up to a higher form of spirituality. And don't get me twisted. You don't have to subscribe to any book, okay, to sit here and believe that you have to be closer to God. Closer to God is being able to get around all of the circumvention that's being done to keep you away. For example, people don't know that there's science out there right now that they're using with these phone towers, okay? And the FCC regulation, you look at the spectrum, they're interfering with our brain waves. Okay, you have the alpha, the beta, and the theta brainwaves. Okay, they find a means to keep and suppress your brainwaves so that way you cannot access the higher power. It has nothing to do with a book, it has to do with science. So, Sonetta, what's good with that, man? You tell me. what do you think about Islam in regards to our people? And we can feed off of that.
Well, I'm quite sure the people out there know my perspective on it. That's why I'm here. This is your floor. I'm here to interview the youth, to see what y'all got to say, to see what's on your hearts and minds. You know, it's about the youth right now. The people already know what I deal with.
I hear that side. Now, in regards to me, when I look at different texts, for example, right, the manuscripts in regards to what we call the Bible, right? There's several manuscripts. The problem is, like, the Hebrew Israelites, those are my brothers, man. I respect them, their nation building, I respect their militant mindset, but they have some discrepancies in regards to the things that they're teaching, all right? Now me, I'm not nobody that stays in no one book, all right? When I deal with the Bible, I deal with it from a scientific, I deal with it from a historical perspective. So that way we can look into it to see if there's anything in it to tell us the history of our people, okay, to tell us the condition of our people, and if it gives us a solution. If any book that you pick up does not deal with your people first and foremost, especially if you're a Hebrew Israelite, you know that they dealt with their people first. Okay? If there's anything in there that's contrary to science, get rid of it. Anything that's in it that's contrary to history, that don't correlate, get rid of it. We have to make modifications to the text because we live in a different time and age. You feel what I'm saying? So when I deal with the Hebrew Israelite brothers, I have to let them know, listen, you have to interject science. For example, the story of Adam and Eve. And Sinai, I'm going to give you exclusive when I do the lecture down in Atlanta. You're going to have it. Adam and Eve deals with Y chromosome Adam and deals with mitochondrial Eve. And if you don't know anything about science, you don't know what that's about. But you got to understand, those people at that time had a particular mindset. Three things. First and foremost, they claimed to be inspired by a higher power. Number two, they were limited in the scope of knowledge that they had in regards to history and science that we have an advantage today. And number three, these men were fallible. You feel what I'm saying? So if you read the text and you look at it from that perspective, you're going to see all these different things, and we have to look at it from a different standpoint today and say, okay, let's examine this from a scientific standpoint. Let's examine this from a historical standpoint. So when you understand science, you understand that the Most High was dealing with Y chromosome on Adam. If you don't know what that is, that's the first man that passed on his Y gene, his chromosome. If you want to know anything about mitochondrial Eve, that has to do with the mitochondrial DNA. That's an endosymbiotic bacteria that entered into our cellular DNA. Look that up, man. He was dealing with the Homo sapien. He wasn't dealing with Homo erectus or Homo neanderthal. This is something that if you don't look at science and respect in regard to your religion, in regard to your manuscripts, man, you're going to have our people destroyed for lack of knowledge, man. And that's Hosea 4:6 for y'all who know that.
I want to turn it around. I want to ask you about reparations because we got Brother Royale. That's what his fight is about. What is your understanding and take on reparations, if you have any, brother?
Sure. In regard to reparation, you got to look at the definition of the word. Reparation. Ation is the act of or the action of, and repar means to repair. Our people are destroyed, man. Okay, not all of us. Some of us are conscious, but a lot of us are destroyed. In order for you to repair something, you have to first re-educate and then reintegrate, and then they will be able to receive the reward. First and foremost, our oppressors. What we need to do is find out who was involved with the slave trade. Okay, let's do a lineage check. Okay, let's go and look at the paperwork. Let's look at the documentation and see who these slave masters are. Then we got to go back to the federal government because who's the first one that offered us reparations? Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln said, I'll give you 40 acres and a mule if you fight with us in the Civil War. What happened? After that, there was no payout. We didn't get anything. So first we need to petition the government and stand firm and say, listen, we're not leaving until we get paid, all right? There are statutes, if you look into the Reconstruction Act, whereby which we can access all these reparations. But first we have to voice it, we have to stand strong, and we got to say, listen, we know jurisprudence of the law just like you do, and we ain't standing down until we get what we want. That's very important. See, sometimes you have to be diplomatic and sometimes you have to be militant, okay? It depends on the nature of the situation. But first, we need to track down and see who are the real slave masters because those are our enemies. The ones that put us in where we're in, those are our real enemies, okay? The ones out here that had nothing to do with it because some of these are immigrants that came during the early 1900s during Ellis Island. They're not our enemies. The enemies are the ones that exist in here, the elite, the ones who control the slave trade. Let's go to them, bring Congress involved, bring the United States government involved, and say, listen, according to certain statutes and acts and USC code, we want our money. We want our 40 acres of the mule. We want our reparations. Y'all have some explaining to do.
Now, this is what's up right here because, see, I want y'all to see that we got the youth up in here, man, and this is about the youth right now. Yeah. I got my brother here all the way from what? Memphis, Tennessee?
Memphis, Tennessee, you know how we get down.
I got my brother DivineProspect up in the building. Say what's up.
Yeah, what up, man?
I got my man Perry right here. This is all about the youth, man. I want to see what's in the heart and minds of the youth. We passing the torch on to y'all, man. This is y'all the leaders right now. What is your understanding of reparations, my brother?
Man, forget reparations. We don't need nothing from them. You know what I'm saying? It's time to stop asking for something from them. We need to get rid of the welfare, whatever. We need to build what we got. If you know anything about economics, we account for 80% of the money being spent in America. So we got 80% of the money. Why are we asking them for money? You know what I'm saying? We need to take the money that we got and spend it with our own people, bring our money together. Let's build our own community centers, put all the religion aside. We can work toward a common goal. I mean, everybody believe in God, so let's do something positive, no matter what your religion is. All put our money together, man. Let's get these women that ain't working to, you know, start homeschooling these kids and stop putting them in these public institutions that's brainwashing them. So by the time they go to college, they ain't believing nothing that we tell them. They believe in everything that society tell them, talking about go get a good job, work for a billionaire, and make $50,000 a year. They ain't making no sense. Why don't we work for ourselves, man? For real.
So what do you say to them, to the people who say our ancestors died in the struggle? The Jews, the so-called Jews, got their reparations. Our mothers and fathers built America. You mean to tell me we don't deserve to get our reparations, to get ours back? I want you to answer that.
Okay, if we built America, we can build something greater than America. You know what I'm saying? We built America when we was in slavery. Now we so-called free, so let's take our freedom and build something totally different. We can have, America is old, let's build something new. Why we want to go something back to something old and give reparations that they ain't gonna give us? How America gonna give us reparations when America in debt? Come on, let's be real. We ain't getting no reparations, man.
No, hold on. Let Curry get in there.
I was going to ask him a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, what is your plan of action in regards to going about establishing something for our people if we're going to do it sans reparations?
All right. First of all, in order to build a black community, man, the saying go, you know what I'm saying, it take a village to raise a child, man. We got to start inside these families, man. For real. For real, before we do anything, how we going to do something in the street? We can't fix our own home. We need to start inside the house. Like I said, homeschool these children, stop sending them to these white public institutions and then wondering why they believe in a white Jesus. Come on, let's be real. Let's start inside the home, because if you start inside the home, they're not gonna want to go outside the home. They're going outside the home because we sending them outside the home.
All right, let me ask another young soldier over here, Brother Perry. What is your take on reparations? How do you think we need to go about it if you think we should fight for reparations? Talk to us.
I agree with a lot of what this brother just said, and I also agree with a lot of what this brother said as well. Reparations, we should be taking back our reparations every day. If you're looking for one day to get paid out for all of the trauma, all of the hurt, all of this pain that what we've been going through, if you want to get paid for one day, that's fucking weak. That's weak as hell to me. I want my reparations every day, and I take it every day. Every time I let these crackers know what's up, every time I step out here and I handle my business, I take back my reparations. Your reparations is what it is to you. You take your reparations back how you feel. So if you feel like you want to go slice a cracker head off, go do that shit. If you want to go rob a bank, if you want to run some credit card scams, if you want to get head from a white girl, take back your motherfucking reparations how you feel. That's how you feel. So reparations is not going to, like, I agree, we're not going to get no damn checks. Now, if another viewpoint on reparations from my view is that y'all already got your damn reparations when you voted for Obama. Y'all all got Obama checks. Y'all getting food stamps. Y'all getting welfare. Y'all getting all of these government benefits. So that's your reparations right there. And y'all ain't doing nothing with it. So if you feel like, you know, you got a problem with what I'm saying, then step your game up and stop depending on the damn system to carry you throughout. Do for self. Learn how to make your own soap, black woman. Every black woman say they independent. Learn how to make your own deodorant, your own toothpaste. Teach the babies, you know what I'm saying? Uplift the black man so we can go out here and make this bread and bring it back home. Yeah. You feel me? Yeah. So another word I want to redefine in 2014. You know what I'm saying? Revolutionary, revolution. True revolutionaries are holistic. They live in a straight holistic lifestyle. Vegan, everything. If you eating meat, you supporting white supremacy. If you eating fast food, you support white supremacy. If you buying all of their products, you supporting white supremacy. Unless you living holistically. Straight up. That's real revolutionary. And teaching the babies at home. That's real revolutionary. And having home births. And sovereignty. More science. That's real revolution. That's real revolution. Now, when we get back to taking back birthrights and different things like that, taking our babies out of these systems, that's when we can really say we revolutionaries. When we build institutions in the dark, like Phil Valentine spoke about, that's when we become real revolutionaries. As long as they know about every step we make, ain't nothing revolution. The revolution won't be televised. That shit, I mean, come on now.
I want to say one thing, because I'm from the South, and I'm be 100% with y'all, man. I feel like let's take a city like New York City, man. In New York City, if you want to, let's say like a 2,000, 3,000 square foot home or apartment, you're going to have to pay $500,000. Do you know if you go down to the South, you can take $500,000 and buy a whole block?
Right.
All these black folks, move out the city. Let's move to the suburbs where the cost of living is so cheap, and we can buy all the land we need.
Acres.
Buy, you know what I'm saying?
Acres.
Buy farms and build our own, you know what I'm saying? Build our own groceries, have our own food, you know what I'm saying? But we steady, these folks do not want to leave New York City and move to the South. They got to stay in the city, spending all this money for no reason. I live in the South, man. You know what I'm saying? Rent is dirt cheap. So I have more flexibility to do things, man. Let's move out these cities, let's move to the South, let's build our own communities, for real, for real.
Hold on this. I mean, everybody has some, you know, some their own points and some positive views they had. I mean, like I said, I agree with everybody, you know. But the main thing is right now. So I honestly, I can't even give you, you know, their view. I can only give you my view right now because my view is something similar to them. But because I'm the national economic developer for the Black Panther Party, that's my focus is economics. And I see now that. And it's just real simple. I mean, we can talk about all the religion, we do all the debate and all that stuff, but the simple thing is this, right? As long as, no matter what color you are, some other race besides your own people is clothing, putting food on your table, right, and putting a shelter over your head, they're going to always be over top of you. And that's why I'm highly upset right now. And you know, to come from LA and see, well, we're trying to get things going with a little bit of 6% of black people out there. And then you come out here with 4 million people in Brooklyn alone, and God knows how many is in Harlem and Bronx, and we can't even get no kind of unity, no coming together. These brothers getting killed or choked, babies getting killed in mothers' hands, and we still walking up and down the block like ain't shit, like shit sweet. So I moved out here last week because my job is to make sure that we stop a lot of that. Okay, that's what we should be focusing on, our babies, and starting to come back and take back which is ours. Okay, so I have to say these things real quick because I want y'all to understand where I'm coming from real quick. So I made the move to New York because once I seen, not just once I seen, but once I seen the Eric Gardner thing, and I seen how there's not a lot of revolutionary organizations out here that's willing to step up. I'm not saying they're not, but it seems like, I mean, you see it's something happening every single day. Every time you get on Facebook, every time you turn on the news, it's another brother or sister getting harmed in New York City. And like I said, LA ain't even the major problem right now. They doing something, I'm not saying they're not, but all you see is New York, New York, New York. So I'm like, you can't, you know, black people, you cannot just throw it on these revolutionary organizations and say, hey, it's up to y'all to do it when this is y'all's community. Y'all live in it just like we do. It's gonna take everybody to help. So I'm gonna give out some solutions, right? Some solutions make more sense than just talking a whole bunch of rhetoric, right? So here's a solution. One, a couple months ago, December 28th out here, they had in Kings Plaza, Brooklyn. Was it Kings Plaza Mall? Is that what it's called, Kings Plaza Mall? Okay, they had an incident where a store in the mall had a racial slur on the t-shirt, right? I know a lot of y'all probably didn't hear about it because the news don't want y'all to hear about this, right? But they had a racial slur on the t-shirt. So the young brother and sisters in there was highly upset. What they did was send out a mass text to everybody they could, and guess what? In 30 minutes, they had everybody, so about 1,000 kids at that store tearing it down. So they had to shut the mall down, and the police could not handle them. Now, how is it that a lot of people in New York don't know about it? It's crazy as hell to me, but I just let you know that information like that is very vital for the black community or any struggling people that are being, you know, beat down and this shit here is to keep y'all in a submissive situation. Think about it, right? The young brother that just took the video for the Eric Gardner, they messing with him, now they messing with his girl. So to me, that's for everybody out here in New York to see, hey, listen, if you mess with us, we're gonna get your girl. You know what I'm saying? No, we're gonna take you. And then we can't get to you, we're gonna take your girl. So they're trying to scare y'all. They're using scare tactics, old ass shit, and y'all falling for the shit. Falling for the shit. You know what I'm saying? We have to stand up. If you see this shit happen across the street, you send a mass tag, you get your ass out there, do something. police cannot illegally touch and apprehend anybody. So if you see that, you're allowed to do something. Did Pac do it? Did not Pac shoot two policemen, and he did not get away with the shit? So how is it that we can't stand up and do something? I'm not saying you got to go to that extent, but goddamn, push the motherfucker off of him. Say something, kick some dust in his face, do some shit, throw a can at him. There's all kinds of shit on the ground. Do something to stop him so he would stop doing what he's doing. Understand this, we're not taking it no more. And they're only gonna do this shit to Negroes, because we keep doing what? Being on our goddamn knees all the goddamn time. We love being on our knees. So that's one. That is a solution. That not no rhetoric. That is a solution. So again, if we get a conference call number, I don't care what, some kind of number that we can all come to agree with all these organizations, all the black people they can have. And when we see a situation like that happen, we all, we get that mass text out, email out, and we meet up at that place so that way we can stop that situation from happening.
So all of y'all brothers, y'all don't think we all just need to come together and just pray, brother? You don't think praying can help us, brother?
It ain't helped us yet, brother. You know what I'm saying? It might help in your personal life.
Help your spirituality. It help you spiritually, but on the physical 3D level, that don't help you.
And that's what I was saying.
That's not going to get us up under this oppressor, but it definitely help you throughout your development.
No race out here is dependent on religion as much as us. We're the only one out here running around in religion. Like I said, out in LA now, the Mexicans run it, and yes, we know they clap, they religious, they Catholic as hell, but guess what? They know how to keep their families together. They know how to take care of each other. They know how to form businesses and take over California. Right now, they're the #1 race in California. They're overpopulated the European now. The European is now #2 in his own country.
So in response to that, I think that was great, everything this brother just said. And unity, I think, is very important. But when people get religious and say, we should just pray, praying is good. But even if you look in your text, if you read the Bible, it says faith without works is dead. You feel me? So you can have the faith and pray all you want and hope that things will happen. If you don't put in that work, then what does it matter? At the end of the day, we need plans of action. Then we need a course of action. You understand? And something that we could do to get the most or the least adverse consequences behind our actions. You understand what I'm saying? So #1, we got to start owning things, man. Okay, things work by titles. If you understand the science behind a title means ownership of something. The problem is with us, we're only transferring titles. We need to get allodial titles over every asset that we own, and that way we can use that as muscle and as leverage in order to get the things that we want. #2, we got to support these businesses out here. You know what I'm saying? People walking by all the time, you know what I'm saying? They'll go into a store and buy a CD. They're going to a store and buy a shirt and clothes. You got vendors out here, you know what I'm saying, that's on the grind trying to get back to our community and keeping the money within the community. Know anything about economics, right? Economics is the branch of science that deal with the transfer, the production, and the consumption of wealth. All right, back when the civil rights movement was happening, the reason why we were so powerful is because we were boycotting things. We don't boycott nothing now. They're shutting down all these black-owned businesses. Ain't nobody saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? We go into these stores we saw in every other nation who's setting up in our neighborhoods and our communities, and we're supporting them. Where's the boycotting power? Brother just said here as far as consumption power. That's why they haven't got rid of us yet, because they know we're the best consumers here in America. And as long as they got us buying their stuff, they're going to continue to use us as the new 2014 slaves. Before, it was physical labor. Now it's purchasing power. And that's what they're using with us today. So what I'm saying is when you look at your dollar that you have, make the most out of your money and put it back into your community. That way we'll have more power to do what we need to do. We got to march. We have the finances to do it because we keep the economics in the community. And we need to sit here and we need to, strong arm somebody. We have the weaponry to do it legally and lawfully because we have the finances to back that up. We need an economy, man. And you got to support all these black businesses that's sitting here keeping the money within our community. Then we can have a course of action. Then we can buy allodial titles where we're the sovereign over everything that we own, every asset that we own, and we can use that leverage as equity when it comes to buying stuff, when it comes to owning stuff. You got to understand that too. Also, get yourself clear. Understand the law for yourself so you know within your realm of rights. Like the brother said right here. If you don't know nothing about the penal law, you can't sit here and tell the officer, listen, you can't do this, and if you do, I can defend myself. There's a such thing as a citizen's arrest. Understand that. And if you know that, you can use that same power against the police. If you feel you're being bad, if you feel you're being intimidated, understand the law. That's called jurisprudence. Understand the law, man. Brother, get in here. You want you to say something?
Brother, what my young brothers out here doing right now, family, they dealing with solutions. This is not rhetoric what you hear. This is solutions coming from my brothers right here, the young soldiers. Check this out.